This country is safe again, Superman. Thanks to you.
There have been a lot of live action Superman suits, whether it's been in cinema, whether it's been, on TV shows. There's a lot to compare to this new suit that James Gunn has just dropped. Well, I'm a few days late, but I still want to talk about it with you guys and hear your guys' input. So today we're going to be comparing the brand new suit from James Gunn, the new DCU Superman suit, to all of the live action suits that have come before it. I'm seeing a lot of hate on it. I'm seeing a lot of love for it as well. It seems very divisive. I feel like that's every single Superman suit that comes out seems to be very divisive. A lot of Snyder fans are hating on this suit. I see a lot of people who are excited for James Gunn's vision who are hating on the suit as well. Me personally, I really like it. I like it a lot. And we're going to talk about it more in depth and detail towards the end of the video. But let's start in the 1950s and let's compare it to the George Reeves suit, which I think is unfair, right? The suit looks like it costs $50 to make, maybe $25. I don't know. It really kind of folds into that criticism that people have with superhero suits and the concern with making them look comic accurate, that they might look like a set of pajamas, because this does look like a set of pajamas. I mean, I zoomed in here on like the collar area and it just looks like a long sleeve shirt with the Superman logo like ironed onto it. The belt, though, the belt doesn't look too bad for this era, but it does look cheap and tacky and just kind of weird. The trunks fit, though. I like it. The trunks are all right with this one. The boots look pretty good, to be honest with you. The blue just seems a little off. I don't know. I don't know how big of a deal it was to have the colors be entirely accurate. But yeah, I mean, it works for the time that it was a part of. It's not too bad. I like the Christopher Reeve version a lot better. It's a more modernized look, taking place in the late 70s. And I still think the suit holds up today. It's one of my favorite Superman suits of all time. I think the logo is absolutely perfect. It might be one of the best logos that we've gotten. The cape looks fantastic. I think they did the belt a lot better on this one, even though it doesn't really look practical. It's just there for kind of the aesthetic. I still like the design of it. I think the colors pop a lot better here. Now on the left, that light blue looks a little iffy, but I think it's just the lighting. The darker blue just pops a lot more. I like how there's not really any muscle padding in here either. It's just fully Christopher Reeve, filling out the suit himself. I don't really have a huge look for you guys on the boots, but I enjoy the boots as well. And it just has that homemade kind of classical feel to it. And I really, really like that about it. Comparing it to this later pick from a later Christopher Reeve Superman movie. I could see the complaints, though, that does look a little silky, kind of has that pajama look. This picture's not super flattering as the other pictures are for the suit. But moving on to the 1990s, I think that's when we get our next kind of major change in the live action Superman suit. And here we have Dean Cain rocking the Superman suit. So this is from a show in the 90s. I think it was called Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. And I really, really love the blue on this suit. It reminds me a lot of the Superman the Animated Series cartoon. I feel like that suit had a much darker blue to it, if I'm remembering correctly. The belt on this suit, though, if you're looking at the belt, especially on the right, that is really ugly. It doesn't look practical. It just looks like, I don't even know, it looks really cheap. Again, like I can't imagine that these suits cost that much to make. I mean, what, a couple $100s to make this? I mean, you had to sew it, I'm assuming, so a lot of labor work goes into this, but it does have that kind of cheap look to it. If I'm not mistaken, though, I think in this show, his mother does make the suit for him, so it does have that, that homemade feel to it, which I think is important for the character of Superman. I like the whole backstory of, his mother, Martha Kent, making the suit for him and sewing it for him. So I really do like the suit, to be honest. I think the belt just looks a little weird. The boots are a little iffy, but it's not a bad suit at all, to be completely honest with you. I think Superman can get away with having a cheap-looking suit, since that's kind of the point of the character of Superman, right? Like, it's a homemade suit. It's not supposed to look like high-tech or, crazy expensive or anything like that. So I think the suit's actually kind of underrated. I think it works pretty well for the era. And even in modern times, I think it's not that bad, too. But let's talk about the next suit that I have on here, which I think this is the worst Superman suit that we've ever gotten in live action. I would even take like the 1950 suit over this suit. This is from Superman Returns, the movie that came out in 2006 starring Brandon Routh. And the movie's absolutely mid. The suit, I think, is garbage. The emblem is just so tiny. It looks so weird how like empty that blue, like the suit doesn't have any like designs on it. It's just kind of this flat blue with this tiny emblem. On the left, it looks really, really weird. I don't know. I really don't like this one. I heard that they did the small emblem to kind of represent Superman from the 1930s because the emblem on his chest was a lot smaller than it's depicted as today in comics and other media. I don't like the dark maroon red either. The cape just looks a little weird. It looks too leathery. I'm not a fan of it. I do like the belt a lot, though. The S on the belt's pretty cool. Looks a lot better than the belts that we've seen previously so far. The trunks are a little weird. They're a little small. Kind of looks like a Speedo. I'm not feeling the suit at all. I think this is the worst suit that we've gotten in live action, to be completely honest with you. And I feel bad saying that because, you know, Brandon Routh, I think, is a pretty good Superman, but I think that this suit's definitely lower tier, pure garbage kind of Superman suit here. But the next suit, it kind of looks exactly the same. Let me go back real quick. The S logo is the absolute same, it appears. It looks like maybe a darker blue compared to the other one, but it could be the lighting because you can see the shadowing on his shoulder area is very dark, kind of looks like this. This is from Smallville, the TV show. He never really suited up as Superman besides this final shot, which I think is an absolutely amazing shot. By the way, I need to go back and watch Smallville. I've only seen a few episodes here and there, but I think I'm almost certain, like, I haven't read this, but I'm assuming that Warner Brothers just gave them this suit, right, for this final shot of the show. So it looks like it's pretty much the same suit. You can't really compare it, I don't think, compared to Returns, because I'm guessing it's pretty much the same exact suit. Then on the left, you have the black suit from the show, which she rocked for a little bit, I think in the mid seasons, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, I haven't watched the show from start to finish, so I can't really comment on it. I added it on here, even though it's kind of like this alternate suit. It really kind of was his main suit, if I'm not mistaken, for a portion of the show. So I put that on there just for reference and contrast. I mean, it's okay. Nothing crazy. I don't really like it. This isn't really showing these suits isn't really to compare to the or showing these two specific suits aren't really to compare to the new suit that we got, just to kind of show you how far along we've come since the creation of Superman in live action, I guess you could say, since the 1950s. Then you have the Henry Cavill suits, right? And we're talking about his main suit here, not the black alternate suit that he rocks. The colors are muted here, but this is one of the things I'm not sure of. I'm not sure if the colors are muted or if that's just the lighting, because then you look on the right and it's a little brighter there, right? So it could be the lighting in some of the sequences and the color grading that Zack Snyder and his team did. Then on the top left, I have his cameo in Black Adam, and I brightened up the picture a little bit because I couldn't find a good enough picture to put onto this slideshow for you guys. But yeah, so this suit looks a lot brighter on the top left. So I'm not sure if that's a brand new suit where they kind of made the colors pop a little bit more compared to the older suits, or if the colors were always that bright and, you know, they kind of color graded it in post-production to make it look a lot darker and a little bit more muted. This suit looks the most expensive, you know, the most expensively made. It looks the most official, I guess you could say, and I think that's obviously because of the massive budget that they had in this film. But besides that, the suit's made from alien technology compared to the homemade look of the other suits that we've looked at so far. To be honest with you, I know a lot of people love this suit, and I don't hate this suit, but it's not one of my favorites. Kind of reminds me of the New 52 suit a little bit. I don't mind it that much. I think it has a cool kind of look to it. And then, of course, we have the no trunks kind of look here, which I'm not mad at either. I prefer the trunks slightly. I like the trunks look a little bit more. But this isn't too bad. I'm not mad at this suit at all. I enjoy it. I like the top left a lot better when the colors pop a little bit more. I would like Superman have that more bright, hopeful look in his suit. But let's go on to the next one, and let's talk about the CW suits. All right, let's go on to it and talk about the CW suits. So originally I had a slide in here. I guess I deleted it by accident, where I was showcasing the original Superman suit that Tyler Hoechlin, I think is how you pronounce his name, wore in the show Supergirl, and I think that suit's absolutely garbage. But since he was only a side character in that show and it wasn't really like his show, and even though it was his main suit, I guess we won't include it. I won't go back and add that slide back in here. But yeah, that suit's pretty garbage. It's another suit that I really don't like. But I wanted to bring up the CW suits, obviously because it's important, because this is the newest live action adaptation of the character. But a lot of people keep comparing the new suit to a CW suit. And I honestly think that the CW Superman suits aren't bad at all, especially that first appearance one all the way on the left. That one looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, it has that 1930s feel and look to it. I mean, I think that suit's perfect. I don't think that should be like a main suit for Superman, but I think that suit's just so well made. I think it's awesome. Then you have that like promo shoot for it in the middle there. It definitely looks a lot better than the one on the right, since that's an actual still from the show, and you're able to touch it up a little bit, color grade it better. The colors pop, it looks pretty good. I like it. And then on the right, you can kind of see what it looks like actually when you're watching the show. And I don't know, I don't like the logo. The logo throws me off. It looks just so flat, right? It looks like it's underneath something. I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't look texturized, like it's popping up or anything. And I like when the emblem kind of doesn't have that muted look to it. It looks like a section of the suit, if that makes sense. Looks or more like an accessory, I guess you could say. Whereas here, it just looks printed on and really flat. I don't really like it. It's very muted. I don't really like the muscle padding look of this suit either, of like the six-pack kind of abs drawn on. The coloring's not that bad though. I know it is a darker blue, and I don't really like the darker blue, but I like the darker blue on this one better than the Cavill suit a little more. The texturing on the Cavill suit's pretty nice too compared to this one. I really like the belt, and then again, there's no trunks here. I think this suit pulls off the no trunk look a little better, but I think the emblem from the Cavill suit's a lot better than the CW suit. So I still think this is a pretty good suit. Not one of the best, but I think it's upper tier for sure. And then I wanted to talk about Brandon Routh getting some redemption. A lot of people think that suit on the left is the best Superman suit that we've ever gotten in live action. And that is from the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover on the CW with the Arrowverse shows. And I think that suit's amazing. I think Brandon Routh really filled out the suit amazingly as well. Compared to some of the other actors that require more like muscle padding. Maybe that is muscle padding, but he's a big guy, so I don't know. But the trunks on it I think look pretty cool. I like the belt, one of the better belts that we've seen. The emblem I really love. I think the emblem pops really well. And then if you look to the right, the main kind of picture that I have here is the ending of Crisis on Infinite Earths, that crossover where we have that classic red and blue and yellow Superman suit, which I think has the potential to be one of the best that we've ever gotten. But we didn't really get too good of a look at it besides the sequence, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think this is a really good suit as well, comparing it to the other suits and the modern suit that we're getting today, which is this one. And again, I really like this suit, okay? And I want to talk about it a little bit. I know this video is going on to be quite long, so I hope you guys like the longer content and like this new kind of look that I'm doing here. But I think the cape looks good. I'm not a fan of the collared cape. That's why I really hated the original Superman suit on the CW and the Supergirl show. I think it works here though. The emblem, I have this kind of zoomed in picture of the emblem from when James Gunn revealed it. The texturing on it I really like, but it looks so much different compared to the suit drop that we got. It looks like in the suit reveal that James Gunn dropped that the emblem has been burnt. I think it has a weird look to it texture wise. I like having like a design to the suit rather than it just being this like flat blue look. A lot of people have been talking about how muted it looks though, and that the colors look too dark, and they thought this would be a brighter, more hopeful Superman. But if you can see on the legs are a lot brighter compared to the upper body. It's obviously clear that this suit is battle damaged, and that I think that there's going to be a brighter version of this suit in the movie. So I'm not really mad at it. You can see that it looks like we have a belt and that we have trunks on the suit as well. I like the trunks personally. I know a lot of people hate it, but I'm not a hater on the trunks whatsoever. So I'm fine with the trunks being there. I think the boots look fine. But the thing I wanted to talk about is I've seen some people say that this looks homemade. I don't think this looks homemade to me at all. I mean, like, look at the intricate like patterns and designs there. That doesn't really have that much of a homemade feel or look to me. I don't really think this looks CW either. I think this looks like it has a pretty big budget around it. A lot of people have been comparing it to Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and the suits that they wear there. I'm sure it's the same costume designer since this is a James Gunn directed film. And I can see the comparisons because it looks like it's the same material used in those suits from that movie in this suit as well. My main complaint with it though is how thick it is. Look at his wrist on the left there. I mean, like, the fabric looks really thick. It doesn't look like a suit that he's going to be able to like put underneath his clothes. Um I don't know. That's like a silly complaint, but it doesn't look like something that's going to be able to fit under his clothes and he can do the iconic, transition to Superman with the shirt pull and showing the emblem. But yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. I really like it though. There's some comparisons to the older suits. Let me know what you guys think. What's your favorite suit? What's your favorite Superman suit of all time? Are you excited for the movie? Do you like this suit? Do you think it's going to look better or worse once we see some actual, movement in the suit, some actual footage of the suit? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'll see you guys on the next one.